Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back, Fit for Millions fans. Today's episode, you're definitely going to want to tune in. I'm talking about something that may shock you, may surprise you, may enlighten you. Let's get into it, honey. Today, we're going to talk about how to turn your life experience into a consulting business. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. You already have what it takes, and here's how to package it. Let's get into it. So, I'm always start with a quote, and here's today's quote. You have been in training for the business your entire life. It's time for you to open the doors. Mm-hmm. Quote that one. Jasmine LeSanker. All right, let's get into some of these questions. So, what if everything that you've been through, and I want you to really think about this, ladies, every job, every failure, every season of your entire life was actually just your curriculum? What if you've been in school for the exact business that what you were supposed to build? I want you to let that one sink in because this episode is exactly what you need. It is for that woman who feels like they don't have credentials, but they have everything else. I'm going to share my moment with you, and maybe it'll help you understand how I made the transition and how I came to this realization in my own life. So, honestly, I don't want to get too much into that at this very moment, but most of you know I started out in the fitness industry and I started off as a fitness instructor and then moved on to teaching multiple modalities. Then I went into personal training. From there, I created a huge following throughout many different um, boutique gyms, major corporation gyms, different places throughout Long Island. And I made a name for myself. Okay. I was good. It was good. And from there, I had my son who was diagnosed with autism. And if anybody's a mom and you have a child with special needs, you understand that they need a lot of your time. And running around was just not something I needed to do. So I devised a plan to start my own business to be able to limit the amount of traveling time so that I could spend that additional time that I was traveling all over to these different places to teach with my son. And I would have all the clients come to one location to see me. And that's exactly what I did. That's how big of a following I had. And it worked, and I was able to build a business, scale it. I made my first 7 figures, and I was 30 years old. I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't go to college for business. It was just something that I innately, I think, inherited from my father. He's also, a businessman, and I was told that my great-grandfathers were also businessmen, so maybe I inherited some of that. I don't know. I like to think so. And I started this journey. It was a lot of lessons that I had to learn the easy and the hard way. I don't think anything was luck. I truly believe that God was in the driver's seat the entire time. And when God is calling you to do something, He will make a way and He will give you wisdom beyond your own understanding. And I truly stepped into that. But today, I promise that I'm going to show you exactly how to identify your consulting niche, how to validate it, and take your first step towards getting paid for what you already know. Okay. So stay with me today. All right. We're going to start with part one, the credential lie that keeps every woman from starting, including myself. That imposter syndrome is real. And I know that we want to sometimes feel like we need to be credentialed out the wazoo. And yes, for certain careers and jobs and businesses, you do need certain credentials in order to start. But to be a consultant, I'm going to show you why that does not align here. All right. We often just tell ourselves when we get to this point, we need a degree, we need a certification, we need more experience before you can start to consult. Those are all myths and those aren't really true. Really, you need confidence more than anything else. Credentials verify your knowledge, but experience will demonstrate it. And that's what you really need to be a good consultant. You need experience. The market doesn't pay for your diploma. Nobody cares about how many degrees, diplomas, masters. Nobody cares about that, okay, when they're paying you. They are paying you for results, all right? Listen to that part. So these are different examples of niches born entirely from lived experiences. And if one of these resonate with you, then maybe this is your call to become a business consultant. So 20 years in corporate leadership, executive leadership consultant. Why not? You've literally spent 2 decades doing a leadership position within a corporation. You could definitely give executive leadership and be a consultant. You have more than enough experience. All right. The next one, build and sold a business. Anyone out there ever build and sold a business? You could be a business acquisition consultant. You have the experience, you know exactly how to do it, you know the ins and outs. Why can't you consult someone else on how to do it? Yep. The next one, you've navigated a health crisis and rebuilt. Why can't you be a wellness and resilience consultant? You know exactly what it takes. You had to navigate through that crisis and rebuild it. You gained so much wisdom and knowledge and training from being on that job. You can now be a consultant. And this last one, if you haven't resonated with the first three, this one might be you. You raise kids while running a business. Now, honey, this one definitely will hit home because you could be a work life integration consultant. Yeah, that exists. Work life integration consultant. And let me tell you why. If you've managed to run a business while raising kids, making dinners, cleaning the house, making sure they showed up to school on time with clean clothes, you got them to their soccer games, their karate practice, dance lessons, and you run your business at the same time. Oh, you have more than what you need to consult somebody on how to do that. All right. No, y'all getting excited. I'm getting excited for you. So, 20 years in the fitness industry and being in leadership, it really just became the exact curriculum that I needed for business consulting. 2 decades of understanding how the business industry works, understanding how business works, working with other leaders, leadership training, leading teams, understanding systems, breaking them down, rebuilding them again, coming up with SOPs, all the ABCs. You really do learn and experience everything you would need to help someone else do it. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Okay. I want you to understand something because I know a lot of you are sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I know it's like whispering in the back of your mind. And let me just correct you if you're saying this to yourself and you don't have a degree. A degree tells people you studied, and that's cute. Mhm. People need to know you studied. Great. Experience tells people you lived it. They don't want a piece of paper letting them know that you went to school, you took the test, you got the grade and the degree. I'm not downplaying it because I have a degree as well. I'm just saying your clients don't care about that. Your clients care about if you can relate to them in a way that's going to help them with their problem because you have the experience that you've lived to help them with the problems and you're able to solve them. It's all about the problem solving and the results at this point. So I want to debunk that out of your mind. Just pew, tell that devil to go somewhere else. Part two, how to identify your consulting niche from your experience. Let me help y'all out with this one. The 3-part niche discovery framework, I'm going to give this one to you. I'm giving away all the gems and I'm giving away for free today, no charge. See? Mhm. That's how I show y'all I love y'all. I'm just giving it away. Part 1, your results. You have to actually think about all the things that your clients are already thinking about, all right? So when you think about results, what have you actually achieved? And what did you build, lead, grow, or overcome? Think about that for a minute. You need to write that one down. This is the part one of this three-part niche discovery framework because I'm going to show y'all how to figure this out without doing it on your own. Part two of this is your pattern. What do people always ask you for help with? What problems do you solve naturally? So think about on the job. People always come to you for this thing on the job. They have a problem, they're asking you. Maybe they ain't even going to the person that was hired to do that specific job. They're coming to you because they know that you do this better than anyone else and you do it naturally. They're always asking you for help with this specific thing. So think about that. And then part three, this is your person who is one step behind you who could benefit from the journey you've already taken. So now let me help you with this one because this is your client, technically your client. So in my field, I'll use myself. I am a business consultant for women who either want to scale their business and they don't understand the framework or have the strategies to scale, and I help them with that. And I also have another person who's never started a business, but has been called to do a business, and they believe that this is the calling on their life. Okay. So I can help them both because I have been a new entrepreneur who started a business and needed help. And I built it from scratch. I had to go through every single thing that there was to do when you're starting a business. Now, I know what some people might say, well, you help people start a business, but what if all of these businesses are different? Yes, that is usually the first question that most of my clients have before they start working with me. And this is what I say. I'm not going to help you with the specifics of your business. That's the thing we're going to do together. Okay. Sometimes you need someone that's not that close to your business or within your industry to see the opportunities that you may not see because you're too close to it. And that's where the conversations that I'm going to have with you as the client, they start to turn into, oh my goodness, enlightenment moments. Because I'm going to ask the questions that you're not even thinking about asking about your industry or your business. Okay. The other part of that is you also want to think about when you're helping someone, and like for most of my clients, I don't think about specifically all the small, tiny details. I'm thinking about the overall picture. How am I getting you to point A, then to point B, and then to point C, or however many points in the goal that we're trying to get to? And I'm helping you move through that through strategic ways so that you're successful at every step. That's something that a lot of business consultants don't do. They usually just hand you a bunch of documents and they just tell you to fill it out and figure it out. That is not me. I am going to walk this with you, walk through this with you. I have been leading teams and dealing with business problems, issues, and raising a family all at the same time that I'm able to problem solve pretty quickly. And even if it's a problem that I've never solved before, because I have certain skill sets, I'm able to move on a fly. Um, I'll segue really quick and tell you this. When COVID hit and we were rebuilding the business, there was no blueprint. And no one knew how we were going to rebuild the business and how we were going to get people to come back into a place that everyone feared. At the time, it was the gym. Nobody wanted to be closed. We had all the, oh, everything in place for being 6 feet apart, and we had our PPP and all of these things. So understanding that we were in very strange times and no one really had a blueprint for how to navigate a business throughout this time, you really had to figure some things out. And I was so grateful to God that He allowed me to be in a leadership position and help to rebuild a business because I was able to figure out so many things that no one had a book or a playbook. Nobody had an SOP. We did have certain things in place that obviously the state was telling us it was mandated in order to open. But beyond that, we were really on our own and we had to figure things out day to day. Questions came up that we never thought would ever come up, and we had to really navigate. And I specifically had to figure out a way to make sure people felt safe, that people were safe, and that we could scale and come up with creative ways to operate. And I not only did that, but I also work with other leaders in different departments. And I was able to sit in on meetings and listen to their strategies and problem solve with them. So that in itself taught me so much about how you can problem solve and navigate waters that are uncharted. And because of that experience, I thank God, like I said before, because when I help my clients today, there's not a problem that I don't feel like I can help them solve because of that experience, because I understand how to visualize a plan out of no plan. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I truly believe that that is just a special gift that I have from God that He has given me to be able to problem solve so many things that I may have never even been experienced with before because of that God given wisdom. That's the only way I can explain it, y'all. So anyway, make sure if you haven't written those down that you're taking that into consideration when finding your niche to discover the framework of what type of business consultant you should be. All right? Consider those three parts. So your results, your pattern, and your person. The common mistake that people make is trying to help everyone at every single stage instead of going deep for one specific person. And I will be the first one to tell you that your niche is not a box, it's a doorway. The more specific you get, the more powerfully the right people will be able to walk through it. What does that all mean? Your niche is something very specific and you don't want to be too broad. That doorway, because it's so specific, the people who really need that the most will be attracted to you because it's specifically what they need and what they're looking for, and you are the solution. Let me give you an example. So, say you need a car and you're like, oh my gosh, my car's broke down and I want a car. And you go to one of those car dealerships where there's every type of car on the lot. And I don't know about you, but I feel really overwhelmed at those dealerships because it's like, I think I want one type of brand of car, and then I see another kind of car, and I'm like, oh, but I really like that brand too. And then you have to get into pricing, and then you have to get into the warranty and oh my gosh, it's like it's too much. It's like, oh my god, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. Get me out of here. I don't even want a car now. However, if I think about specifically before I go to a dealership about what I really want, what I really need, and what my price point can be based on my budget, and then I figure out that brand of car that I truly would like to have, and now I go to that one specific dealership for that specific brand, it's easier to navigate exactly what you want and get the results and the solution to your problem. Because now you're not in there looking at 25 different brands of cars. You're looking at one brand of car with just maybe they have a few different type of cars in that series, whatever type of brand car it is. So I feel that's why those dealerships do so well because it's specific. People like the majority of people, not everyone, but majority of people like specifics. They want that type of brand of car. They just go there because they're going to get the answer to their problem. It's the same in this aspect. So your niche is something specific, something that you do better than majority of the people, and people want to come to you specifically because you specify and you are a master at that one specific thing. Before we close this out, I want to get into three core consulting offer types, and I'm going to explain them and break them down for you. So, if you're considering starting a consulting business, here are the offers. This is how to package your experience into that offer. The first one is one on one consulting. This is your highest touch, your highest price point, your most personal. Best for getting started and building testimonies. Okay. So your testimonials are going to come from those one on one clients that you're going to take on in your business. That's your highest ticket because you're spending the most time and you want to price that accordingly. Your second one is your group cohort. This is for someone who maybe not ready to work with you one on one. Maybe they don't have the budget to work with you one on one, but this group is still important. These are people who want to scale and they enjoy what you have to offer, but they'll be okay with doing it in a group setting. It's a better price point for them. And maybe they enjoy having conversations with other people in the cohort and they can also learn and grow and glean in that way. It's scalable, it builds community, it's a middle price point, and this is best for when you have a proven framework. And I'll go into that in a minute. The last one, done with you. Okay. I call this one my DWY hybrid model. It's hands on collaboration, best for clients who want both strategy and these clients, they want a a part of you that isn't one-on-one, but they want to still kind of feel like they have a sense of doing things themselves. So they get like that a little bit of both. And you can really get a lot of value out of this specific offer because they don't feel alone. They don't feel like they have to face all of the nuances of whatever it is that you're offering by themselves, that they still have this hands on approach. It's hybrid, but again, it's collaborative. You're collaborating with them. So, those are the three price points and offers that I would suggest if you're going into business consulting. For my business consulting framework that I have right now, and this is really important because it's a proven strategy that works every single time for every single client. And I'll explain in a minute why it works. And this is something that you'll have to figure out if you decide to go this route. What is a proven framework that works every single time to get your client the results that they're looking for? Mine is the PPPF method, and it takes the guessing out of it, and it's just a system. It's if you don't already know and you're new to this channel, the first P is purpose, the second P is for peace, the third P is profit, and the F is for freedom. Without this proven framework and methodology, you can't get the results that you're looking for because each one of those pillars represent what it is that you're looking to gain as a result. If you don't know your purpose, you will not find peace, the profits can't come, and you won't have freedom. If we get all of those four in alignment, the result is a better you with a better life. So it is proven time and time again to be what most clients are looking for when they come to me and they seek me out for consultant. And I'm so grateful for my clients. Shout out to them if they're listening. We've done the work and we've gotten you to a better place with your life and your family. And a lot of them have gone on to either start other businesses or allowed more free time with their loved ones, so it is beautiful to watch. Oh boy. That's saying a lot. All right. So before I let you go, I'm going to give you a few more gems to help you out if this is something that you think you want to get into. I want to really help someone here. I want you to name and describe your offer so clear that it's compelling and it's confident. So get a piece of paper and write this one down. In one sentence, The offer formula should be like this: I help specific person, whatever whoever that specific person is, achieve specific results, whatever that specific result is, through your method or your approach, whatever that is for you. So I'll use myself in this sentence. I help women achieve the life that they deserve to live without the burnout through the PPPF method. So write that down, really be clear and specific and compelling about that, because that is truly how you're going to sell without coming off salesy. You don't need 10 offers, you don't need tons of marketing. You just need one specific offer, very clear and compelling, that solves a problem. I want to help you get your first consulting client. And I waited until the end for you to get this part of today's episode because I truly want to help somebody if this is your calling. The fastest path to your first client is a warm reach, not cold content. So I know we like to put a bunch of content out there, and that's great. Like, I'm not saying not to post on your Instagram, your Facebook, TikToks, whatever you have, YouTube, but that is not the fastest way to your first client. Step one, you should write down 10 people in your network who fit your ideal client profile. So, this is where you're going to have to start looking through your little contact book, looking maybe through your LinkedIn or wherever you keep a majority of your network. Start looking at people who you already know. That's usually where you're going to get your first client, because that's where I got mine. These are people you have already have a relationship with. These should be former colleagues, they should be friends, people in your community, maybe people at your church, a friend of a family member, someone who already knows you is usually ideal for the first client. Step two, you want to send a personal, non salesy message, not a pitch, a conversation starter. I'll give you an example. This is one that I personally use. Hey, my name is, and put your name. I've been thinking about you. I'm now doing business consulting for whatever your niche is, and I would love to hear what you're working on. Would you be open to a 30-minute conversation? That's it. It's not salesy, it isn't pitchy. This is the exact framework and the exact way I started. And that's actually the sentence that I use when I am looking to help someone and start that conversation. And it's just really easy to get a conversation started about what their goals are. They start going into what they want to build, how they want to build it, and then it just naturally just flows from there. I usually don't even bring up the offer on that 30-minute conversation once it goes into that next step. I usually just do mostly listening and hearing them out. And by the end of that conversation, I ask one simple question: when do you want to start? How soon? And what do you think your next step should be? And then it really pretty much sells itself. So, step three, you need to have the conversation with zero pressure. Your only goal is to understand their situation. Step four, if they're a fit and you really need to make sure that whatever it is that they're looking for is a fit for you, meaning, can you take on this task? Is it something that you feel like you know enough about to be able to help them with? Because if it isn't, you're going to be doing them a disservice. So that 30-minute conversation for them is to help you understand what they're trying to do, but you're listening to see if there are ways you can help them with that problem. That's really all it is. So that's how you'll know if you're fit. If you are a fit, oh, you can reach out to them after the 30-minute call. You can make the simple offer. Don't make it complicated, just clear and with next steps. The power of the free strategy session that I use all the time is to demonstrate value and not make them uncomfortable in any way. You want to generate testimonials. I've gotten so much out of giving a, free strategy session, especially in the first months when I first started consulting. That was really helpful for me as a new business owner and starting off with not a lot of clients, obviously, at first. And I was able to put those testimonials on my website and use them because it's important that other people have a point of reference from people who have already worked with you in that capacity. So there's a lot of value in giving those free strategy sessions. It's not a waste. Your first client is not the internet. And it's not gonna be on the internet. Your first client is already on your phone. That's where it is. So open up that phone and go find them. Before we close today, I wanna remind you of some assignments if you're serious about this that you might wanna consider. Complete the three-part niche discovery framework that I gave. Try to complete it this week if you can. Write your one-sentence offer. And I wanna remind you all that you're not starting from scratch. You're literally starting from your experience. That's an enormous advantage. So if you have any fears, just push them right out of your head. We talked about that in the beginning. If you have the experience, but I understand that you're not really sure if you can turn it into an offer, or if you're ready to figure out all your pricing and you have a client already. That is literally what the first phase of my coaching is designed to do. So if you're interested, I do have a link in my bio on Instagram and Facebook. Feel free to reach out to me and I will love to walk you through your first client offer and get you started on your journey to being a business consultant in your niche. I thank you all. I love you for tuning in. And I want to leave you with just this one quick prayer. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for allowing these listeners to come on today, the ones that are interested in business consulting. They want to go out into the world and help other people in their niches, help them solve their problems, give them the wisdom and the guidance that they need to fulfill the God given purpose that you have put on the inside of them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. That's all we have today, folks. I will see you in the next episode. I love you. God bless you and your business, and have a wonderful day.